What's up, Bertini fam? So in today's video, we're gonna be chopping up our rear fender from Hofmann Designs. So basically what I'm thinking is here, we're gonna remove this bracket that goes across here, and then I'm gonna cut all of this off right here. This way I can see my rear tire. I really like that look. Now I know this isn't gonna be for everybody, but at least for me, this is a look that I really like. Obviously the only downside is I'm cutting up this beautiful carbon fiber rear fender from Hofmann Designs, but of course that's a choice that I'm gonna be making. Now make sure, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, do me a big favor and click that subscribe button right now. This way you can stay up to date on all of my future content that I put out there. With that being said, go ahead and roll the intro. Now, first things first, I'll go ahead and remove this bracket that goes through here and behind the fender. And then of course, we'll make our markings of where the cut is going to be. We'll remove the fender and then we'll go ahead and cut up the rear fender. All right, well, we got the bracket off, so we're gonna go ahead and weigh this thing up. This feels kind of heavy, so there's gonna be some weight savings here. Now, I do understand this is a carbon fiber fender, so I'm assuming just eliminating some of this over here is not gonna reduce so much weight, but I guess we'll see how much weight. It's probably gonna be like a pound, maybe 1.5 pounds that will reduce off of it. So let's go ahead and get this marked up of where we wanna cut and get it cut. So just to give you a quick update, removed off the bags, removed the seat off. Now what we're going to do, just because I've done this mod before when I installed the, or I shouldn't say mod, I've taken all this apart to install this fender before. I now know that in order to do this easily, or easier than fussing around with it, I'm gonna remove these pieces just because it's easier for me to pull out the fender. And then of course, I'll make my markings of where I'm planning on cutting, and then we'll go ahead and get into making the cuts. But I just wanted to give you an update of what you're going to have to pull out in order to get this piece off here, right? And so, yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and get going. All right, so now I put blue tape where I roughly want it to be. This is not the final place. I need to make sure that obviously this whole thing is leveled perfectly across first, but I'm gonna remove the fender off the bike in order to do that, obviously to make my cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, make sure everything is perfect. I wanna get it as close to this line here as possible, right here in the edge. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off in order to do that, make sure everything is perfectly leveled, and then we'll get some measurements for you guys. Now I got it on the floor and I got everything completely leveled from both sides. I used this washer right here as my measurement, and I measured 1/2 inch inward from this washer to where I'm gonna cut. And of course I did the exact same thing on the other side. Now we'll go ahead and make our cuts all the way across using a Dremel carbide blade. So just made the cut. It came out really good. As you can see here, I just basically followed completely along the lines. That is the carbide wheel that I used and the Dremel. I'll go ahead and link the carbide wheel in the description box below. So if you guys are interested, you could pick that up too. Basically, that's everything that I used right there to make this come out. It is a pretty big chunk of carbon fiber that I took off. I'll measure that up here in a second and get it weighed up so we know how much weight came off of it. But first I'm gonna finish off these edges, make it really nice and clean, and then I'll get you some shots of that too. And if you're wondering how I'm gonna clean up the edge, I'll probably start off with a 220 and then work my way up to 320 and onward until I get it to a nice shiny finish that I'm looking for on the edge. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh everything up that we took off the bike. First things first is the piece of carbon fiber that we cut off the tail section. So we cut off 1 pound, 6 ounces. And then next is the metal bracket that we took off as well. That puts us at a grand total of 3 pounds, 5 ounces. So it looks like that bracket in itself is about 2 pounds. So 3 pounds, 5 ounces is our total weight savings today. Now, if you're curious how much of the section that I cut off about 14 inches of the tail section. All right, well, here's our final product. I think it came out really, really nice. It's beyond what I was actually looking to achieve So I'm super happy with it. Just to get you guys a few angles here so you can see how it looks from like the side profile. Let me get you guys this one so you can see here how everything looks. Now, I ended up finishing the edge off with, which is why you see it polished and matching the top. I ended up finishing the edge off with 800 grit sandpaper, and then I took a car compound and polished the rim here, and then I took a car polish and polished it further down so that this way it looks like this is how it came when Hofmann Designs sent it to me. It came out super, I mean, it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. You can see my chain now from the back, which is cool. And once we get on that new tire, I have a new tire over there. It's just waiting on the rims to be put on. But yeah, it's gonna look really sick from the back here. Well, like everything else I do, I hope you guys have all learned something from this footage. I know I did a lot of searching online and I couldn't find out a lot on this stuff. I had some help from the Performance Bagger Facebook group. They were super, well, a lot of people, I should say, were super gracious to go in and comment on my post asking about removing the bracket and talking about cutting my rear fender. So there has been other people who have done this mod before me. And so it was really difficult though for me to find some stuff. And so I ended up deciding, you know what, let me go ahead and document everything and make a video of it. With that being said, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, do me a big favor and click that subscribe button right now. This way you can stay up to date with all of my future content that I'm putting out there. And please do not forget, make sure you're putting good energy out there into the world and you're paying it forward. I'll check y'all out later. Bye now.